Now, Police Minister Bheki Cele is meeting with truck owners, we are told, after violence and protests on the N3 recently. A number of trucks were set alight. Our reporter, Desan Thathia, is outside that meeting and joins us now live with the very latest. Desan, a number of issues on the agenda there. I understand that the hiring of foreign drivers will feature quite prominently. What do you know?
Once again, that is the issue here, Michelle. I wish that I could have been inside that meeting. In fact, that's what the invitation that we received seemed to allude to, that we would be able to report from inside that meeting. But as we got there, we were just asked to take a few shots just for about 2 minutes or so, and then we were locked out along with other journalists. We were told that we would then be called back afterwards to be briefed by the police minister himself. One of the reasons given was that if we were inside, that those truck owners wouldn't be able to express themselves freely. So that is one of the main points that those truck owners will be putting forward in that meeting today, as far as we understand it. You'll remember that those protests that you mentioned were largely hinged on the fact that local companies were hiring illegal foreigners to drive these trucks for them long distance, and some of the local truck drivers had taken issue with that. This also isn't the first time that we've seen this kind of protest, and just last week it was 7 trucks that were burnt near the Moy River toll plaza. Fortunately, no one was injured in that incident. So the truck owners here really want some kind of assurance from police to say that they would be able to conduct their business without any kind of interference from local truck drivers, that there would be some kind of resolution that would be reached in relation to this issue and over the employment practices that some of these local companies are using.
Now, Desan, you and I have talked on this exact story some months ago. You were at the time reporting from that part of the N3 in Durban. So clearly it's not the first time that this kind of protest action has been undertaken, but the question is, what's been done since the last protest action?
Certainly. In fact, Michelle, if memory serves, it was exactly 1 year ago that you and I were talking about this issue on the N3. And at that time, there were about 35 trucks that were damaged. About 18 of them were completely destroyed. Others were looted and damaged. More than 50 people were arrested in that incident. And as you'll remember, the N3 was brought to a complete standstill. Then a few months later, there was also a blockade that we saw near Van Riemen's. That's where truck drivers had just abandoned their vehicles, again, over the same issue. Now, around that time, government had intervened, and there were meetings with the KZN government and certain truck owners and drivers to discuss these issues. It's one of several talks that were held, but the fact that we are seeing this now happening once again, it just makes me wonder exactly what's going to come out of this meeting today that's going to be different to see a resolution being reached here. I do know that the Labour Department has also been brought on board to investigate these companies to see exactly, whether they are following proper labour practices, because the issue here is not around foreign nationals being employed. It's around those that are illegally in the country and those that are accepting really menial wages here to do the work that locals really wanted to get involved in. So this is expected to be a long meeting, Michelle. It really is an opportunity for these truck owners to put forward their concerns and to engage with the police management here. And at the end of it, and one of the last items on the agenda is the suggested solutions. And I think that's the part that all of us are going to be interested in when we get an opportunity to speak to the police minister and those owners a little bit later.
Yeah, and I suppose it's difficult for you to say, but when do you reckon we'll get some idea of how that meeting is going?
Well, hopefully within the next 2 hours or so. But, Michelle, one of the other issues around this meeting is that there are xenophobic undertones, if I could call it that, over these protests. And it really comes at a time where we are seeing other incidents taking place, which, some leaders are calling criminal, others are saying they are xenophobic in nature. And it's for that reason that this kind of meeting is very important, and it's actually imperative that there is some kind of solution that is outlined and also put into effect as soon as possible, just to prevent any further further attacks on these truck drivers that are making these long trips. It also has economic impacts as well, because these are long-distance trucks that are traveling between the various cities, and one hopes that there will be some kind of long-term plan that will be put into place as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you'll keep us up to date on everything that emerges from that meeting as we are able to get those updates. My colleague, eNCA, live to us there from Durban. Police Minister Bheki Cele meeting with truck owners after that violence on the N3 recently. We'll keep track of that story for you.